I'm Martin Gray here. I'm at the Eastbourne UK 2019 Iom National Championships. From my home in South Dublin by train to Dublin, where I boarded a bus, and I got the bus to the ferry port, went by ferry, and then landed in Holyhead. So we went from Holyhead to London by bus, and there in London I took a train to Heathrow Airport, where I rented a car and set out for Eastbourne. Having set out from Heathrow, I then drove through the heavy traffic in London, and about 3 hours later I ended up in Eastbourne, where I found my hotel. And having dropped off my suitcases, I then headed to the EDNYC, where my boat was measured and weighed. Had to have my new sails measured also, which was kindly arranged by Ken Binks and Jess Collier, and they set about measuring my sails and masts and A and B rigs, as I assumed that C rigs were not going to be used that weekend due to the weather forecast. So folks here are tuning up. There's number 38, Ian Dundas from Aberdeen, and number 112, David Kerridge from Harwich and Dovercourt. We have number 47, Terry Collin from Eastbourne, 33, John Owen from Aberdeen. Boats practicing there for their heat. Number 12, Craig Richards from Windrush, and 75, Tony Edwards. 04, that's Dave Allinson from Chipstead, and 50 is Stuart Campbell from Kinghorn, which is north of Edinburgh in Scotland. There we have Jen Hand from Lincoln and Tony Edwards from Robert Yachts there behind her. Jess Collier, the PRO for the regatta, is currently resetting the course, and as soon as it's ready he will blow the whistle and let everybody know that the last seeding heat, the seeding heat A, will take place shortly.
No, you came down to Falmouth. You did, yeah. We went down to Falmouth as well. You put it in the water.
So 10 seconds to go before the start of the next heat.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So the fleet are starting on starboard, heading off to the left side of the course.
One is on starboard, 1, 2.
So rounding the weather mark for the first time, we've Craig Richards, 1-2 on port. Has to give way to Chris Harris, 2-1 on starboard. Then we have Ante Kovacevic from Croatia, number 130. Sania K2 and 136, Vernal Appleton. Also in a Britpop, which the first two are also Britpops.
Contact 14112.
So the leaders are just approaching now the leeward mark for the first time. Looks like there's going to be a split of the front runners. 2-1 is taking the left course side. 1-2 is to the right, along with Ante Kuserovic. He's taking the right side. Also 136 is going to the right. Ray Stevens, number 54, is going to the left side of the course.
Yeah, you got it. 474.
And here's one of the local boats, number 72, sailed by Trevor Binks, going to the left side of the course. So just rounding the weather mark for the second time is 2-1, which is Chris Harris with a grid pop, followed by 1-2, which is Craig Richards, also with a grid pop. The 3-0. Coming down on starboard is 5-4, which is Roy Stevens, followed by 130, which is Ante Kuserovic. We have Trevor Binks coming to the mark. We're on port, hitting the mark, I think, and number 97, which is Robert Wilson. There's Trevor doing his turn for being on the mark.
Contact 136 on the mark.
He's made up a lot of ground, going to the left side of the course, along with 5-4. There's Trevor Binks in the middle there with Jess Collier, the PRO, to his right, and Julia Hancock, one of the two ladies in the fleet, doing her duty as observer. So just rounding the leeward mark for the last time and now heading towards the finish is 2-1, sailed by Chris Harris, which is a Britpop. He really has a commanding lead on this race. Followed by 1-2, which is Craig Richards, also with a nice lead.
21 is your finishing boat.
Sailing a Britpop. Then we have Roy Stevens, 5-4, rounding the leeward mark, and behind him is Ante Kuserovic, sailing at K2, which is number 130, and then we have fifth place is 9-7, which Robert Wilson, also with a Britpop. So congratulations to Chris and Craig Richards for sailing really a great race, and 5-4 for catching up with the fleet, 130 for hanging in, and 9-7 for doing a good job and staying with them.